Hello everyone and welcome. Today I'm really excited to be talking about one of my favorite topics, and this is color. Now, color can really make or break your website. So learning the techniques of how to use color effectively can make your website look really professional. Now, the techniques I'll be showing you are used by web design agencies and even big brands. So I'll be covering all these in today's tutorial. So without wasting a lot of time, let's dive in. And I forgot, Divi has a new color manager and I'll be showing you how it works. And this is really exciting because you know what? It has an
algorithm that automatically creates
colors that work well together. This is exciting and I'll be showing you all this in today's tutorial. So right, so you may be wondering why I'm standing in front of this shop. So the main reason is, this is an example of how color is used to brand your company. So this main yellow color is the main color of the company, and what you need to do now is when you're designing your website, you need to choose a base color. So this is the main color, the base color. So you need to find colors that work well together with your base color.
Okay, so I've got some examples here of a base color as it relates to the company. So over here we have UPS, so they use this brown as their main color. And then over here we see that we have McDonald's, CNN, Facebook, Coca-Cola, and I've also added NHS, and this is the National Health System here in the United Kingdom. So as you can see, these are the main colors that represent the company or the brand. So this is what you also need to do in order for you to have websites that look professional.
So color harmonies. Now, color harmony is like a formula that allows you to create colors that work well together. Now, this is mathematically calculated, and I'm sure there's a lot of complications that go on behind the scenes. There's websites out there that can help you do this. There's the Adobe website. It's called Adobe Color. It helps you choose colors that work well together. Now, when it comes to color harmonies, there's different types of harmonies. There's analogous colors, there's triad, there's complementary colors. Now, complementary colors are colors that opposite of the color spectrum. So this helps you choose the colors that work well together. Now, if you were to choose colors that you think work well together, it wouldn't work unless you're gifted and has the ability of just knowing which colors work well together. Just like those artists that painted those famous paintings hundreds of years ago. They had no guide to show them which colors are analogous colors or complementary colors, but they were able to pull it off. But not a lot of us have that gift of creating that those type of colors that work well together. But fortunately, we have websites that help us create these colors that work well together. And I'll be sharing with you these websites again today. In fact, let's dive into the studio and I'll show you these colors right away. Okay, so we are here now in the studio.
So before we go to websites that help you create color palettes, let's talk about a real-world example of a company that chose their color palette based on complementary colors. So right now I have FedEx here, and we can see they've chosen purple and orange. Now, on the outset, you might think that they may have just chosen these colors at random, but there was a science behind this. So over here on the bottom, we have what is known as a color wheel. So if we take a look at these two colors here, this purple and orange, we see that when you take a look here on the color wheel, they are actually opposite each other. So this is how these colors work well together. And this is the application of a color harmony. So let's go to a website which has even more examples, and this website is called color.adobe.com. This website helps you create colors that work well together. So over here, I've been talking about a base color over and over again. I'm sure some of you are getting sick of me just saying base color, base color, base color. But anyway, so this is where you'd add your base color. So you can see here, it also says set as base color. So we can choose any color here to set as the base color. So over here, we can now start moving all these sliders to choose our color palette. But note, when I move these colors here, they are actually following a color harmony. And the color harmony that it's following here is the analogous color harmony. So if we click this drop down, we can actually choose complementary colors as how FedEx uses their colors. And this is where we get to customize them and just make sure that they work well together. But as I mentioned, here is where you need to set your color. So that's my main color. And then if you come over here to the color wheel, we can now start playing around with this and choose our color palette. Now, there's also one website called coolers.co. So this is also a website that helps you create a color palette. So what you do when you get to this website is you just come on and start pressing the space bar, and it cycles through colors that work well together. So this is another way that you can actually choose your color palette. So as I'm pressing the space bar here, you can see that it is choosing different colors. So what I'm going to do in this example is I'm going to go through here and choose a color that I think will work with my tutorial today. And then what I'll do is I'll apply these colors onto DIVI and use them throughout the tutorial.
I mentioned that there's color harmonies. Now, when it comes to designing your website, we do also apply the same techniques. So color is used throughout any creative space. So whether it's graphic design, branding, painting, and so on. So the same application of color is also used to web design.
Okay, so I'm going to go with this color palette. So now I'm going to come over here to DIVI, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my theme options first. And in fact, I'll leave this page. And this is where we need to add our initial color palette. So I'm going to come here to colors and choose my colors. So I'm just copying and pasting this hexadecimal value. So I'm just going to do that right here, like that. Move on to the next color. Great. So now we have all the colors that we need. I'm just going to come over here and click on Save Changes. Now, what I need to do is to go and create a brand new page. So I'm going to come over here to Pages and click on Add New. Right. So over here, let's just call this page Color. Click on Use the DIVI Builder, and then we're going to go straight to the Visual Builder. So to make things easier for me, I'm just going to start off with a pre-made layout. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to choose a layout pack, which I think works with my tutorial. So I'm just going to choose any. So I'm going to go here with the design agency, and I'm going to go with this one. So I'm going to click on Use this layout. So this layout is going to be loaded on my page, and then I'm going to go in and start changing all my colors. And then we're going to see how this new algorithm and how the colors work well together. So straight away, this bright yellow, I need to get rid of it. So I'm going to go in and start making changes. But before I do that, I just want to make sure that I have all the sections that I need. So the sections that I don't need, I'm just going to go ahead and delete them. So for example, this one here, I'm just going to go ahead and delete this. Don't really need that. And this one as well. And everything else seems okay. Right, so let's start adding all our colors. So I'm going to come over here to my section settings, and then I'm going to click on Filter, Modified Styles. So I just want to see where all the changes were made in this design. So I can see here that nothing much was done to the section settings except this animation style. So I'm going to close that. Come over here to my row settings. Again, I'm going to click on this Filter, Modified Styles. So this is where I can see that a color was added. So I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to add my own color. So I'm going to come over here, and you can see now that our palette has been loaded, which is fantastic. So I'm going to choose my color. And then I'm going to go ahead and save. Now I'm going to come into the modules and change the colors in the module. So I'm going to click here and click on Filter, Modified Style. So this will take me straight to where those changes were made. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click over here on these three little dots. So once I click on that, check this out. These are now colors that were generated by DIVI, which actually work well with our color palette. So this is really, really exciting stuff. So if I come over here and choose this color, you can see that that blends very well with our color palette. So moving on, I'm going to come over here to this word creative. So before I do that, I'm just going to save that. Come over here to the word creative. Go into the section settings, design. In fact, I'm going to go to filter, modified styles. Again, I'm going to change that color. And this time I'm going to go with, let's go with this one. Okay, so that looks nice. So I'm going to continue doing this. until I'm happy with all the colors that I'm adding onto my design. So again, I'm going to come over here to filter, modified styles, and this time we're going to choose something a bit different. So let's go with, okay, so that's the color that I just chosen. Okay, so moving on to the paragraph text. So again, I'm going to come over here to filter, modified styles, and I'm going to go with that color. So you can see here that this looks really, really beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to save this. So I'm going to continue now going through and making all these changes. So I'm going to click here on design. Again, I'm going to click on modified styles, and then I'm going to change this color right here and add our own color. So we have a lot of colors here to choose from, and all these colors work well with our design. So I'm going to choose this color right here, and you can see that it's blending very well with our main color right here. So I can just save. So one way you could do this is by adding the same color throughout, but you can also be a bit more creative and choose different colors for our icon, which are straight from our color palette. So I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to start choosing, different colors here like that. And you don't have to be afraid to use these colors because these colors work well together, and they're all from our color palette here, which was generated by DIVI. Okay, so I'm just going to continue doing that. So pretty much this is the changes that I've managed to do, and all these changes were according to the color palette that DIVI generated for us, and also from the color palette that we initially chose. So as you can see, this is pretty cool. All these colors work well together. So in a minute, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this page so we can view it without seeing all these lines. But pretty much this is how we made all our changes. So let's save the page and let's do a quick preview. So I'm going to save. Okay, so this is our final design, which we just did by adding all our colors. So you can see here all the icons. I varied the colors using the colors from our color palette. So pretty much we've just changed the whole design, and now this looks way different. Even this image, I added this color cast to this image just to make it match with our color palette. And obviously over here. And over here, I've also changed the icon colors. And finally, the footer is now customized, and also this button right here.
Okay, so we've come to the end of our tutorial. I hope you've learned a lot about color, and you will be applying some of these tips that I spoke about in today's tutorial. So thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Now, when it comes to subscribing, that's not enough. You need to hit the bell notification, because the bell notification allows you to be notified every time I release tutorials. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care.